feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it's sink or swim, only option is to win. In the murky water, not a thought of giving in. Welcome to the shrimp tank. Want to put it all together, this is big thanks. Doing big things, we ain't in the same league. Running a campaign, Roadie 2016. Like a phone to die, putting me in charge. I'm a general, from the front, I'ma lead the charge. Like a federal, fell on my lap never. Going hard as ever.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode here on the Shrimp Tank, powered by Celsius Beverage. This is the podcast where street smarts and book smarts collide. We get to feature some of the best and brightest entrepreneurs all throughout the United States. And this is the first podcast in the United States that has an entire class of Florida Atlantic University students sitting in and part of the show. And we are starting trends here today. My co-host is doing that with his top hat. So, Kevin, what is up with these hats? 2 in a row. What's up?
It's not really a top hat, but yeah, that's going to be a new part of the show. So welcome back. I'm Dr. Kevin Cox, the director of the Adams Center.
Are you an affiliate of this brand or something? What's going on? Are they paying you for this?
Not
you are
yet,
an influencer.
but I'm working on it. If
You
anybody
did get
wants to sponsor,
Professor of the Year in the state of Florida when it comes to entrepreneurship. So
that's
I know a lot of brands are reaching out to you.
Yeah, sometimes, but enough about me. Let's kick this show off this week. We've got a phenomenal guest, Sandi Glandt. And what we're going to have you do, Sandy, is kick things off with an elevator pitch. We like to teach all our students that it's important to be able to describe who you are, what you do, and provide an introduction in no more than 60 seconds. So we want to put you on the spot.
All right.
Go for it.
Okay. Well, hi, my name's Sandi Glandt. I'm a high performance productivity coach. I help my clients go from burnout to balance. So if you are struggling with feeling burnt out when it comes to your home, your babies, your business, or your bank accounts, I help you to figure out the right systems, strategy, and support to do it all.
Oh, like a pro. Perfect, Sandy. You killed it.
There we go.
Who's not feeling burnt out? If you're an entrepreneur out there, it's pretty hard not to, of course. Even you, Kevin, you're quite busy professional.
Oh, you're not kidding. But exciting things happen in Florida Atlantic in the entrepreneurship. We just announced yesterday our new Ocean Economy Blue Economy Initiative, which is one of our new initiatives at the College of Business, where we're going to focus on supporting, providing resources, and focusing on those startups and innovations that are aimed at solutions towards the blue economy, which is really one of the epicenters down here in South Florida as it drives so much in the economy. And we've already got some great partnerships with the Marine Research Hub, the Ocean Exchange, as well as Seaworthy Collective and some other groups that are focusing on the industry. It's a really up and coming opportunity for entrepreneurs. So I'd encourage anybody who's interested to get involved in that.
And of course, reach out to one of our past guests. 4Ocean was on the show. And of course, they're a big part of that big initiative to clean up the ocean. So Kevin, let's kick off this next segment of the show. Every week we have the students come up with a design where we really run a game show. So come on down, the students who created this game show, and we selected one student at random to be a participant. So it's going to be me versus Sandy versus Kevin versus the student. And we're going to see who wins this game show. Okay, it's Jeopardy.
Okay, we're on the same team.
Well, I mean, let's start by getting a full introduction of all the competitors. We've got Franco joining us today. Franco, tell us a little bit about yourself.
How are you guys? My name is Franco Gingaspero. I'm a student here at Florida Atlantic, finance major, play soccer my whole life, and yeah, just ready to kill it on this podcast. Very excited.
All right, be careful. You might be sharp. Finance, not as easy as management or some of the other majors around the college. So he's a wild card.
Okay, I'm excited to learn the rules of this new show.
So we're going to be playing Jeopardy, 4 different categories: famous founders, Shark Tank products, business failures and comebacks, and then startup lingo. Values of 200, 400, and 600.
Oh, I like this.
Okay.
They really thought this one through.
And then ring your buzzer when you got the answer.
Okay.
Is it a collective or individual?
Individual.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we're going to start with startup lingo, of course.
Oh, great.
$200.
Love it.
This short pitch, often delivered in 30 to 60 seconds.
Elevator pitch.
Wait, does he have to finish the question first?
No. It's
Normally you would
okay.
say what is an elevator pitch.
Okay,
but
noted, but I'm taking
We'll
the
give him
points.
the point.
Let's keep going. I should know all this.
Pick a category.
Startup lingo 600.
Startup lingo 600. This term describes when a startup achieves a valuation of at least $1 billion.
Unicorn.
Correct.
Oh, startup lingo for 400. Let's knock it out.
This 3-letter acronym measures how much it costs a business to bring a new paying customer.
Oh,
Customer acquisition cost.
Correct.
All right, I'll take Shark
Crosses
Tank
off?
products
Yeah.
200.
This sponge-shaped, like smiling face became
what is Scrub Daddy?
correct.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you pick.
Shark Tank products 400.
This comfy, oversized blanket sweatshirt hybrid earned a, yep,
What is this Snuggie?
no,
Oh,
That's what I was thinking too.
earned a deal and is now a household name. It's a comfy, oversized blanket sweatshirt.
I know what it
Answer
is.
what
I'm
is
blanking out on the
the
name.
comfy.
All right. No, he
what is
said
a
it.
comfy?
Well,
He just said it.
Oh,
just said it.
oh. You.
Okay. She's still up, right?
Yep.
Okay, 600. Shark Tank
Six.
products.
This cupcake company from Washington, D.C. was the first ever business.
What is Sprinkles? Cupcakes.
Nope.
No.
It was the first ever business to get a Shark Tank investment backed by Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary.
Cupcakes.
Answer is, what is Wicked Good Cupcakes?
Ooh, that was a hard one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not really a
I was gonna
household
think
name.
Daisy.
Okay, you're still up.
Okay. Business failures and comebacks for 200.
This toy chain went bankrupt in 2017, but has since made small comebacks.
What is
Yeah.
Toys R Us?
That's correct.
Mhm.
Go with 400. Same category. Business failures and comebacks.
In 1985, the soda company's launch of New Blank flopped so badly.
What is New Coke?
What is Coca-Cola? But we'll give it to you.
Okay.
Questionable.
Same category. 600.
This video rental giant once laughed off an offer.
What is Blockbuster?
Yep. I knew as soon as I said those first words.
All right. Famous founders 200.
If you don't get this one, I don't.
Uh-oh.
Which entrepreneur started a social media giant from his Harvard dorm room?
What is Mark
Mark
Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg.
Who got it first? Hold on. I don't know about that one.
It was a
Quick,
collective answer.
400.
Okay, this one. Before launching Tesla and SpaceX, this founder created and sold PayPal.
Who's Elon Musk?
Yep.
I thought it was a trick question.
Yeah.
I waited.
Oh, 600. Last one.
600. What woman co-founded Spanx and became the world's?
Who is Sarah Blakely?
That is correct.
Ooh, who won? Who was tallying up the scores
I
here?
won.
I don't know. There's a lot of negatives and
Yeah,
positives.
that guy was keeping score. And
That was
Sandy
fun. That was
managed to
fun.
get out of the negative after those
Yes.
wrong guesses. She was coming back strong, but not enough questions. And Franco's buzzer wasn't working. He would have won.
Oh.
I think
I had
the
I had
battery-
distance from the
Batteries are
mic
dead.
too.
Wow.
Yeah.
We didn't know this.
Oh, an emotional disconnect.
He was whispering the answers to me.
It was
so we'll be
rigged.
co-winners
rigged.
today. Thanks for joining on the
Of course,
show.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Sandy, this section of the show is all about you. We want to learn about you being a founder, an entrepreneur, a book author, and all these events that you're putting on. So let's start out with your early journey, right? When did you get to Florida? And what was your first business? Was it a success? Was it a failure?
Yeah. So I grew up in an entrepreneurial family.
Okay.
So grandparents, dad, so you see that early on growing up. I always was doing my own thing from event business. I had my own event business in college. And as I mentioned before we got on air, worked 3 jobs, went to school full time. So I was always hustling. I was always trying to figure out how to make money, pay off those student loans early. So when I moved to Florida, that was in 2014. And at that time I was in the health and wellness space.
Okay.
So I was doing health and wellness coaching, and my journey really started when I became a mom. And that's really when I saw the transition in the health and wellness space from the workouts and the macro plans not being what women or the clients needed, but it was more of a time block.
Was it a lot of your friends that were just going through the same struggles as you and you just realized there was a problem? and you could offer a solution?
It was, so for being in the space of events and being in the space of kind of always having everything scheduled and time blocked, coming into a space of health and wellness, it was completely different. And most of the time, like, what's the number one thing that people say if they don't do their workouts? I didn't have time. So the block wasn't, I don't know what to eat, I don't know what to do to work out. It was time. So that's kind of the core of where it started. And then once I became a mom, that's when kind of everything unlocked into, now you really don't have time. Now you really got to figure out how to juggle all the things between home and family and husband and baby and a business.
Yeah, it's never ending. Kevin goes
Never
through this
ending.
a lot. We talk about fitness
I was
and
over here
routine.
chuckling just because as a professor in the College of Business, not to pick on the students. I mean, they're right here. They complain about it, but they complain to me a lot about like, I don't have time. I'm not going to have time to do that thing that maybe takes like 20 or 30 minutes. And it's like, yeah, you'll find out what being really kind of busy is all about. But speaking of the students, let's go back a little bit further in your background. Tell us about your school. Where'd you go to school? And what's the first thing you did when you got out of school?
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a little bit relevant, specifically relevant to where they're at right now.
Yeah. So I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. I got my degree in broadcast journalism. And even before I graduated, I had started my own business. So I was doing event planning. And I was never one to just like go to school, go home, do homework, and go out. Sorry, guys. I was always looking to make money. I was always looking to, like I mentioned, I worked 3 jobs, went to school full time. So I'd go to school Monday through Friday. I would nanny Monday through Thursday. I would bartend on the weekends. And then I also worked at a radio station. So I'd pick up, gigs in between. So I was always working. And the really cool thing was the radio station actually opened a lot of doors to opportunities in TV. So I remember working at CBS and just being in an intern position. And one of the photographers had walked up to me and said, "Hey, we're starting this new show called Down the Shore. We need someone to go down to the shore, and we're gonna pay you to go to the beach and do lifestyle, scenes and check out the bars and the restaurants.
Good gig.
Do you know anyone who wants to do that?" And they're like, "Oh, by the way, there's this intern. She would be really good for that." So it's just putting yourself in the right rooms, always looking for opportunity and always being hungry. That was one thing that I always saw being in an entrepreneurial family, was like, you make the opportunities for yourself. You don't wait for them to come to you. So getting in the rooms and knowing what you want. Because I knew I obviously, like in an intern position, I was in the newsroom, but I was like, I want to be on camera. I want to be able to have my own show. And it evolved into that in many different ways. But it was getting in the rooms to begin with.
Yeah. And I see that a lot amongst our students. So many of them are working jobs. I joke about them complaining they're busy, but they tend to be pretty busy. So many students at Florida Atlantic work in hospitality in South Florida and in fitness and wellness.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, it opens so many opportunities. And if you play it right, that'll actually be the first opportunity that you can get even before you graduate. Because that was my position. I had started my own event planning business, but I was making contacts every single day before I had graduated.
Yeah, really important. And there's so many opportunities here at Florida Atlantic to do that. There's always events, opportunities, both on campus, off campus, information sessions, workshops, networking opportunities. So I always encourage students to get involved. And it doesn't really even matter so much what you get involved in. Pick something you're interested in, you're passionate about, you'd like to learn more about, and just do it. It's not that important. Based on my own experience and anecdotal evidence with students, it's more important that you get involved with something as opposed to just kind of going to classes and going through the motions.
Yeah,
that'll help you some. You'll pick up some knowledge, but making those personal connections and getting out in the community tends to have more of an impact on your longer career tail.
Yeah, the relationships were the biggest thing. I mean, that was the catalyst to opening all the doors, all the opportunities, because I was hungry for it, but also because it was in the right rooms with the right people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we dive in a little bit further into that subject? We see so many large entrepreneurs telling everybody all the time, say no, protect your schedule, right? Time is so valuable.
Yeah.
But often, we see earlier in their career, they said yes to almost everything.
Yep.
So I feel like there's misinformation on the internet where people look at the larger entrepreneurs and, you know, they're just graduating FAU or other universities, and they tend not to put themselves out there. They don't go to networking events. You have a big event coming up with 200 VIP female founders in Miami, and we don't see enough folks in their 20s joining these type of networking events. And there's so many relationships in the room. So can you just share those early days of when you said yes on purpose, when there was no money involved, it was pure relationship driven, and when you made that shift to start saying no? Because you say no 99% of the time to opportunities these days because your inbox is full. You get a lot of emails and you're juggling a lot of different things, of course.
Yeah. So in the beginning, it was yes to anything I could say yes to, because I wanted to get in the rooms. I wanted to meet the right people, say yes to any opportunity because I was hungry and I wanted to just get in the room. That shifted for me. And look, it's also the same thing in business when that calendar is open and you've got clients to take on. And as you build more clients into your business, you start, you know, upping your rates, the calendar starts getting blocked out more, you become less available. So there's a little bit of a game to it. Where in the beginning, yes, you're going to have more time, you're going to have more flexibility, but as those opportunities start to progress and you can know, like, where are those opportunities and also where are my boundaries? As a wife, as a mom, as a business owner, today it looks very different than it did 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But in college, man, I was out taking every opportunity. I was going to all the events. I was meeting every single person that I could, going out of my way to make those opportunities. Because I knew that I had, like, time is the most valuable asset that you have, right? Like, you all know you can never get more of it. But at the end of the day, like, now, if I could go back in time, I mean, I would do it all over again. I would probably even 10x what I was doing because it brought me so much ROI. So now, like, I have a brother, he just got out of college. We're 11 years apart, but I tell him, I'm like, man, you're not married, you have no kids. Like, now is the time to take advantage of all these opportunities in front of you. So now's the time. I would go after it.
But how do you convince people to do that, right? When you have college football on, and you have NFL football on, and TikTok and Instagram, so often it's hard to shift that mindset. And we tell our interns that work for our brand to do that, and they go back to Kevin's excuse: I don't have time. You know, so you're talking to the world that says, you know, they just don't believe that. So how do you really shift that audience? And then how do you turn this into a business? Because you have right now, you teach other entrepreneurs your exact failures you went through and how to protect your time. You're a published author as well. So kind of go into more detail.
Yeah. So number one, again, I grew up with it. I saw it from an early age. I would go out with my dad on days off or the weekends and go work with him in his business. I was like, I'm telling you, Jason, I was so hungry for opportunity. I was like the kid selling little bracelets in my neighborhood. You know, my kids are actually going to be at the event. My kids are 8 and 5. We have them coming to the event on September 25th. They're going to introduce me on stage. They're going to have their own table. Like, you have to be eager to go after opportunity. And the thing is, if it's not right in front of you, go meet people that can go introduce you to the opportunities that you want. And I would say this for any business, any industry, whatever you want, it's in your hands. It's up to you. It's in your control. So just go out there and meet the right people. You're really just connecting dots. It's a really fun game that you get to play when you're like, okay, I'm one step closer. Okay, maybe that wasn't the right direction, but I get to reroute, right? So it's fun. It gets to be like this game. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. So number one, I think that, again, you got to be hungry for it. It's not something that you just wake up all of a sudden and you're like, oh, I'm hungry to go after opportunity today. It does take discipline. And just like a workout, just like business, I mean, there's so many parallels. You have to be the one that knows that you're in control. So what are you doing with it? What are you doing with your time? You can go to the football games. You can go to do all the fun extracurricular stuff. But, like, what do you really want at the end of the day? You guys want money? You want opportunities? You want the planes, the jets, the cars, all the really fun stuff? That comes from working hard and getting in the right room with the right opportunities.
All right, Sandy. So I'm a little bit short on time myself. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be able to read your book, but I would encourage all the students to give it a read. But if you could distill it down to 3 or 4 major takeaways, just the main one. I'm sure it's dense and there's a ton of stuff in there. What would be the cliff notes for your book?
Okay, well, number one, I'm going to say that's just an excuse. So we don't make excuses, we make time. And the second thing that I'll say is I actually have a journal coming out in 2 weeks. We're hard launching this at the events, where every single chapter, there's going to be a journaling prompts that go with every single chapter in the book. So you can read it together, or you can just do one or the other. But the book, it's all about figuring out, it says right here on the cover, how to get more done, become ultra productive, and unlock your full potential. So this is really giving you the framework. I coach women that are doing 6-7 figure businesses, and they're moms, they're business women. They don't have time every single day to just, pick up a book and read it, but you can go and make little tiny steps every single day. So what I would say is you got to make the time to do the things that are going to give you the most progress. So one step at a time, one day at a time, and just go really, really narrow and focus on what is it that you want to achieve. So the book is going to give you that framework.
All right.
And can you share a little bit about the event that's coming up that you're hosting?
Yeah, so Called to Lead is September 25th. We're going to have 200 female founders in the room. We have business owners, philanthropists, really just women that are movers and shakers in the community, that have the magazines, the books, the podcasts, the TV shows, the proven businesses that are they're going to be in the room as our sponsors, but also the women that are in the room that want to connect with these other women to grow their businesses. So we say the next big opportunity, collaboration, connection is going to be in that room. So if you can be there, we would love to have you.
Awesome. And now explain your business behind the scenes. I know some people that have been on a lot of your Zooms, right? There's a cost to be involved with the membership. Can you explain the structure? Because you transitioned. You had a lot of people you were coaching one-on-one, and then you run out of time. So now you have to do things in a group setting and continuously figure out new profitable ways to make the best out of your business. So go into details.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, when I was coaching, again, you only have so many hours in the day. I'm very, very strict with my hours and the time that I work, because I have kids and I want to be a present mom, a present wife, and also have time for myself. So what I do is I have very strict hours that I work in the day, and you can only do so much of that with one-on-one coaching. So that framework I still have for a select elite select VIP level of clientele. But then I also have a group coaching structure where women can come in. We have different price points for that, where they can come in on a virtual level, a social level, or like a full all-in membership. And they get to come in, they get to meet our amazing guest speakers that we have. And it's all about building the system, strategy, and support into their businesses, but also their homes. Yeah. Because if you're optimizing and you're running on all cylinders in business, why shouldn't you be that way in your home also? And
a lot of them are solo entrepreneurs, and that can be extremely lonely, I'm assuming. So lots of times they join just to be on those Zooms week in and week out, get to speak with you, but other members, because what I've noticed, especially with our app Owl, is like it is full of solo entrepreneurs because they could watch as many YouTube's videos as you want, TikTok videos, Instagram, but it's still a lonely place. But there's the sense of community, I'm assuming.
The community is amazing. The women, they come together, they support, they do their own events, they do their own collaborations. And it's really fun. They get to be creative and expansive. And it was funny on our call on Monday, because we do the calls every Monday at 12 o'clock, just for an hour. On their lunch break, they can come in, out, get what they need and leave. One of the members was saying, every time I post on social media, my family gives me crap about it. And I'm like, you know what? If it's family, and she said some of her friends are that way too. If it's the friends that you have in your life, it's probably not the right circle, because they're not supporting you and what you're doing, what you're growing into. So get around people that are supporting what you're doing, whether it's with school or business or whatever your passions are, because the right people will support you and actually elevate you so much faster than all those people that are trying to bring you down.
I love that part, because so often when you're building a new product, other people don't understand it. They're not in your same shoes. And you have to deal with all the noise. And it's not easy. You people are commenting on social media. They're sending you DMs. And family members can be the most ruthless sometimes. Like people just not understanding why you're going after your dreams by creating a certain type of business. And obviously I'm going through that right now, right? I have a mobile app that just hit 10,000 people on the platform, but I can't tell you how many, people have come to me, just quit, throw in the towel, and go back to being a financial advisor, which I still am today, but it's a bootstrap business. It's very difficult to deal with all the pain. But when you speak to other people that have built a mobile app and they've scaled it, they said, this is all normal, right? Everything you're going through, I went through. And then
Yeah.
it just reminds you to keep going and going. So we're going to switch segments now. We're going to allow the Florida Atlantic University students come on up. This segment is featured by Owl, where you get to ask an entrepreneur a question. So feel free to come on up if you have a question for Sandi. And looks like we have someone coming on down. And feel free to introduce yourself and fire away.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hi.
I too grew up in an entrepreneurial family, and I was just wondering how you felt those, the stuff you learned from your family, how that carried forward into your business now.
Yeah. So a lot of it was, especially from a young age, you see, especially what Jason's talking about right now, you realize like it's actually never easy. And I feel like part of that is the grit that you get along with it, where you're like, okay, if part of the game is it's actually the obstacles that come with it, because a lot of people are told life is easy or it should be easy, or, like kind of put a Band-Aid on things. You from a young age actually understand that it's part of the game and you have fun with it. It's a little bit easier when you can see it from a younger age than learning that later on in life. And so it actually works to your advantage, because now the whole because mindset's really the hardest part. If everyone could get their mindset in the right spot to know how to move forward, especially when times get hard, like that's the biggest cheat code you could have. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I would say gave me an advantage. And especially when you have your own business and every day it's something else, you're like, oh, it's just another day.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the professor. Come on up, Tess.
Okay. Hi, my name's Tess. I'm not a student. I'm the instructor of this course, but I was curious about, you're talking a lot about discipline and time blocking and basically just staying on top of your game. And I have I'm sure lots of people have experience where they've gotten into a good groove and then something happens with family or this or that. So I'm curious, as far as longevity or checking in with yourself, am I actually sticking with my, the discipline or not?
Yep.
What are some of your tactics for that?
Let me add a little bit more context too. Tess is not just an instructor here at the College of Business. She's a very promising doctoral candidate in the midst of studying for her comprehensive exam.
Yes, that's in
which
5
are
days.
2 years worth of
She says
classes.
5 days away.
2 years worth of classes, roughly 18 hours worth of testing. So she's got a lot on her plate.
Yeah. Well, I always say my systems and strategies work best for the person that's the busiest. Because if we all had so much time in the day and we could plan and color code everything, then that would be great. But it doesn't happen that way. So number one, I would say when you're in that season, because we all have seasons when it's a little bit lighter. It's like right now for you, you're in a season where there's a lot on your plate. It feels very heavy. When do I even come up for air? And so number one, I think just recognizing that you're in this season and it doesn't last forever, right? So number one, that would be the first part of it. And then number two is, for me, I always look at my bookends of what are my staples and my non-negotiables. So for me, I wake up first from everyone in my house. So about a month ago, it was at 5:30 in the morning. Now it's 6 because my kids are homeschooling. So I get to sleep extra 30 minutes. But so every day it's the same time up and a workout, non-negotiable, because that is what gives me the fuel for the day. That you all have heard, do the hardest thing first, get up, do the hardest thing of the day first. And it also just sets the tone for me. I feel good. It's something for myself. It's before anybody needs me, before the work calls, the emails, the kids, the husband, anything else that needs me. And then I would also say during the day, if you have that busy schedule and you feel like you can't come up for air, give yourself little pockets of time. Even if it's a 5-minute get up, do a walk, get out of being so stuck in the thing that you're in, because anything outside of a 90-minute block, your productivity actually drops. So giving yourself that little break is actually going to make you more productive than it would if you just kind of went right through. And then the final thing is, at the end of the day, have something, again, as kind of like your bookmark at the end of the day, whether that's you set up your gym clothes for the next day, you have a kind of a routine for yourself that you always do that makes you feel good. But kind of implementing those blocks into your day is going to, no matter what happens, no matter how the day goes, you can always rely on those.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll add to that. It's just, routine means everything. We've interviewed 300-400 entrepreneurs on the show, and we see a consistent answer to that question is they all wake up early.
Yep.
They all hit the gym. They all take walks outside, get some sunlight, and talk to other people around them that support them.
Yep.
Because talking to people really energizes you all the time. And the people who are always in the poor mindset tend not to go to the gym.
Yeah.
They tend not to speak with others and often complain a lot to others. And then the complaining is just, of course, a compounding issue in their business.
Hi, I'm Tyler.
Hi.
What's a mindset that you have, like maybe a mantra that you tell yourself to keep you motivated? Like, I know you talked about a lot of what your mindset is, but like, what's a mantra that you keep in your head 24/7 that keeps you motivated?
Yeah. I mean, I actually just kind of hit on it, but it's do the hard thing first. Because for me, I actually will do the harder workout. I'll go tackle the things that I know I don't want to do. Because if I do that first, everything else gets easier. And I think a lot of people do the reverse where they push it off. They dread it all day, all week, all month, all year. They never end up accomplishing what they want to do. The most successful people, they do those hard things first. And it's like, okay, I did it. I can move on. So no matter what area of your life, if it's school, if it's business, if it's sports, do that the hardest thing that you possibly can first, get it out of the way. And you're going to be like, what was I? It's like this little gremlin that sits on your shoulder that you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So it could be a school project or, something that that you're dreading. Just get it out of the way. Do it first. Because then it's all downhill, meaning it's easier from there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Hi, I'm Mateo. And besides your strategy or the opportunity you had in your internship, what marketing approach did you take for your company to make it succeed, in the early stages?
Yeah. So we meaning my company and I, my team and I, we do a lot of everything. So for example, on social media, I started with, I think it was Facebook, right? You're on Facebook. By the way, everything that we've done has been organic. So the events, the guest speakers that we have that come on the show, like the most incredible coaches, mentors, it's absolutely amazing. And so in the beginning, you're just figuring out because a lot of my clients will say to me, how do you get these people on your podcast? How do you get them how do you connect with them? And it's, again, going back to the same thing, just one thing at a time. So get really good at maybe being consistent on Instagram if you're posting for your business, or like for us right now, we've got, when we post, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, there's a TV show, the podcast. I'm missing a bunch of them, but kind of just like flooded everything. But getting consistent with one thing first and having a system for that so somebody else can duplicate. Because in the beginning, it was just me. And I remember getting to a point where I was like, I actually wrote down, I was like, okay, these are all the things that I'm doing. I put it in my phone and I had my first hire and I was like, okay, what are you good at? I had hired this girl, Valeria. I said, what are you good at that you can take off my plate? So then I could focus on the bigger things and she could just focus on the day-to-day stuff that didn't need me. But I had a very clear system for her to follow so we could duplicate and rinse and repeat.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And how has podcasting impacted your life? Right. Often it's not always about the dollars and cents we notice, because you can interview such amazing nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, and you have quite a successful lineup of guests. How many guests have you had on, and just kind of speak to this in general podcast?
So my podcast now is called Slay Your Day. It's also a TV show. So TV show, podcast, and then on YouTube as well. And my first one was called the Modern Moms Club. So it was all about like juggling, it was the first iteration of what Slay Your Day is. I had a second one that I did it with a business partner. And this one now, so really the beginning was 2016.
Oh, you were early.
Yeah. So, and it evolves, right? Like, I think a lot of people are scared that, oh my gosh, what if it changes? Or what if it's not the same format? It's not going to be. It's going to evolve. It's going to grow. You're going to have the most amazing guests when you get to that point, but it doesn't start that way. So having what you're saying about podcasting is it opens doors. It opens opportunities, because I have had people that have come on. I've started businesses with them. I've done events with them. We've done collaborations. There's so much opportunity in podcasting, and you might just audio podcast in the beginning. That's how I started. Then it went from just audio to now visual and the TV show. So really it's as big as you want to take it, but the doors and the opportunities that come from it, it could just end at a simple conversation. But again, it's up to you where does that go and where do you want those relationships to go? Because I have people that reach out that want to be on the show, but then I also have my team reaching out to people that I'm like, I would love to interview this person. And I'll tell you, don't be scared to reach out to people, because it's a very small percentage of people that have ever said no.
Yeah, I agree. Most people just don't get asked. We've had people worth $1 billion, $500 million, and sometimes it's their first podcast they've ever been on.
Yeah.
And they don't get invited often. Everyone's intimidated to ask them,
Yep.
or they're going down the wrong channel.
Yeah.
Right. They're asking, in an email where the CEO is not looking at their emails. But if you DM them, on LinkedIn, where they are monitoring their inbox,
right,
and you could check follower account. They don't use Instagram commonly, high net worth CEOs or retirees that, exited from $1 billion unicorn business. But LinkedIn, it's usually them.
Right.
So I completely agree. That's how we got our first 100 big guests, I would say, on this podcast.
And it's such a great way to repurpose your content, because it's long form content. You can chop it up and use it everywhere. So it's really just the long game of visibility, where you can take a long form piece of content just like this and then chop that up. Now with AI, how many of you are using AI? I mean, everybody should be using AI in one form or another, whether, I won't say for school, but,
they should use it for school, right, Kevin? So I think these days, the professors that are not allowing them are hurting them, I think. Right, Kev?
Yeah, I think in the college business, most professors are integrating AI usage into their classes. They do have a specific policy, though, and that may vary per assignment. Yeah. But that said, I think you have to
innovate.
Yeah, you've really got to be leveraging it to help you get things done and increase your productivity. And when you get to the job market, the people you're up against getting those entry level jobs are going to be utilizing it.
Yeah, my kids are using it. They're 5 and 8. They're using it. So,
well, hey, that's a great transition. You want me to cover some news at FAU before we get out of here today?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, if you're interested in learning about Gen AI, we have a special seminar on Gen AI for Business with expert Fernando Koch at 3 p.m. on Tuesday next week in the Office Depot building, room 101. I'll be sure to get you a link and a QR code if you want to join that. That's open to students, faculty, and the broader community in South Florida. It's going to be a great event. At the end of this month, we start our entrepreneurship boot camp. And right now we're in a very exciting transition where our robust accelerator program, where we house 30 to 40 startup ventures, is transitioning back into some would say the rightful home, the College of Business. So we'll have a lot more exciting news on that, as well as an agreement with GoDaddy where students can get a free domain, free web hosting, free e-commerce back in for up to 2 years. So I'll have all that information coming out soon, and more exciting events and opportunities for students, faculty, and everybody else who wants to get involved.
Okay. Well, Sandi, thank you for joining us on the Shrimp Tank today. For our audience listening online, how do they reach out if they want to pitch you to go on your podcast? If they want to go to your event, for example, what are the best routes?
Yeah. So the best place to find me is on Instagram. That's where I am the most active. So at Sandi Glandt is where you can find me. Just send me a DM. And if you want to grab your ticket for the event, just DM me the word ticket, and my automation from ManyChat will send you a direct link to come join us. Again, 200 amazing founders, business owners, philanthropists, all the movers and shakers of Miami will be there. So we hope to see you in the room.
And I will be there as well.
Jason's
with the
gonna be there
Owl
too.
brand. We will have our interactive podcast booth set up. So come on down, get some extra content through our booth, of course. Sandi, thanks again for joining us on the Shrimp Tank. Everybody listening, we'll be back next Wednesday right around 1 p.m.